What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to a very special edition of On the Topic of, which is my E3 2016 predictions episode. I'm going to be going down telling you guys what I'm expecting from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo at this year's press conferences, what kind of games I expect to hear about, what kind of hardware announcements, etc., etc. I've filled this composition book, or at least the first 3 pages, with tons of predictions that I believe are going to come true at next week's press conferences. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So the way I'm going to be doing this is going right down the list, pretty much topic by topic, bullet point by bullet point, and I'm going to break down what I think is going to happen next week. So let's go ahead and kick things off with Microsoft. The first thing on my list is lots of Battlefield 1, or at least I would say 10 minutes worth of Battlefield 1. Obviously, this is something we're going to hear more about at EA's press conference earlier in the week. However, with Microsoft kind of being abandoned by Call of Duty and Call of Duty jumping ship and going over to the PlayStation 4 as its home, so to speak, there's always a home for Call of Duty. It used to be Xbox 360, Xbox One, now it's PlayStation 4. If I remember correctly, Battlefield kind of jumped onto the Xbox hype train, so to speak, and now Battlefield's home is on Xbox, where they're going to be getting all the DLC first as far as consoles go, etc., etc. So I'm expecting some campaign gameplay, maybe a new trailer that's exclusive to the Microsoft press conference. I don't know, but I guarantee you it is going to make an appearance at their show. Now, next up, I'm expecting the standard EA Sports talk, with FIFA and Madden taking the spotlight, because with people on Xbox, they love their FIFA. That's something that I've picked up watching the Microsoft press conference over the years, and I don't believe that 2016 is going to be any different. We're definitely going to see some more FIFA gameplay, maybe some multiplayer announcements, some kind of Ultimate Team stuff that I quite honestly don't care about, because I play FIFA from time to time, but it's not something I'm playing every month or every year. So the next thing I'm expecting to see is a doubling down of the Windows 10 integration with the Xbox One. I believe that that is something that's a long time coming, and they have done pretty well with it on the Windows side of things. I've noticed that the Xbox app is actually pretty good. I've noticed that the streaming of Xbox games to the PC works fairly well, so I would imagine that they're going to try and continue that kind of push, and I believe that that is going to be kind of accompanied with this new UI system, which I made these predictions earlier in the week, and as it turns out, there is already a new piece of firmware that's coming to the Xbox One later this summer, and it's available right now for preview members. That being said, I believe this new firmware update is going to release alongside a new Xbox One. So now the word on the street, I just said word on the street. So the rumor has it that this thing is going to be called the Xbox Scorpio, and that it's going to be slimmer, it's going to require less power, and overall it's going to be a more powerful system than the current generation Xbox One and even the PlayStation 4, which would certainly help Microsoft make up for some lost time whenever it comes to the console race, which they've been losing since the Xbox One debuted a couple of years back. So now with this new powerful hardware, it leads me to believe that there's going to be some kind of virtual reality announcement for the Xbox One platform at E3. I believe that they have to compete with PlayStation VR. I believe that they have to compete with HTC Vive and Oculus Rift, even though it's kind of a small competitor now, which leads me to believe that since Oculus Rift is a small competitor, Rift is going to be kind of absorbed into the PlayStation brand, and it's now going to be an Xbox One accessory to compete with the PlayStation VR, which would certainly explain why they went and made a more powerful Xbox One. It would be to compensate for the kind of toll that that hardware is going to have on the Xbox One itself. So now with all that tech talk out of the way, what games am I expecting to see? Number one, a lot of Halo Wars 2, because it has the name Halo in the title, and you can't have an Xbox press conference without at least mentioning the success of Halo, the new Halo game, a new Halo action figure. You have to talk about Halo. That's just kind of a thing. Alongside that, I'm expecting some Gears 4 campaign gameplay and Pro League multiplayer announcements, maybe some kind of competitive Pro League season if it hasn't already been announced. The competitive side of Gears 4 and Gears of War in general is alive and well. It thrives, and a lot of people are passionate about it, and I have even watched a match or two, and I have to admit that it does get pretty heated. So those are a couple of announcements that I am expecting on that front. Next up, I'm expecting to see some Forza Horizon 3, because Gran Turismo Sport is supposed to be coming out later on this year, and it is due for another Forza game, the Xbox One is. And following that, I believe Crackdown 3 is going to make another appearance at E3, where it will highlight the power of cloud gaming, the cloud computing software that it is using to make the game run smoother, run better, and kind of be a better game overall, because it's always the hardware that's kind of underlying with Microsoft's games, where they're showing what the Xbox One has behind it, that cloud computing, all of that good stuff. And plus, I really just kind of want to see some more Crackdown 3. Now, alongside all of that, I'm expecting more talk about backwards compatibility, maybe some more announcements of what games are coming to the service later on this year, maybe even some, and 150 games are being added right now, including, and then a list, scrolls behind somebody on the screen. I feel like that would be pretty dang cool, but the number one game that I'm looking forward to from Microsoft at this year's E3 press conference is in fact ReCore, because it is the most interesting new IP that I've seen from Xbox in the past couple of years, and I'm really excited to see where this one goes. Is it going to flop? More than likely? I would say so, but it's still an interesting idea, and I hope the best for the game. So next up, let's talk about Sony. PlayStation E3 2016, what are we going to be seeing? Number one, PlayStation Neo, PS4.5, PlayStation 4K, whatever you want to call it, it is going to be there, and it is going to be very impressive, and it's going to be interesting to see how they try and spin PlayStation Neo, because right now it feels like, even me, who has had a PlayStation 4 since day one, I feel like if a new console came out this far into the console generation, that I'm already getting gypped, and that's something to be said for a lot of people, especially if you were one that bought a PlayStation 4 in the last, I would say, year. That's a little bit ridiculous. So, now that being said, whether I like the new console or not, whether they're able to flip it and make it a good thing instead of something that feels like it's ripping people off, let's go ahead and assume that this thing is very popular and that there are new demands for console bundles. This is the kind of bundle that I predict is going to be announced with the PlayStation Neo. So you've got your Neo system, the standard kind of hardware that you would expect to get whenever you buy a console bundle, you expect it to come with the console. Following that is a PlayStation camera, the VR headset, a DualShock 4, and perhaps 2 Move controllers, and I believe all of this is going to be priced for around $800 to $850. I feel like that's pretty accurate. If you imagine that the PlayStation Neo runs $399, then you have 2 Move controllers, the VR headset, it might even be $999, but still you're getting a lot of bang for your buck if you were getting that amount of hardware with that bundle. So the next thing PlayStation, or at least what I expect PlayStation to talk about, is the new original content that they're going to be making, and I believe that Power Season 2 is going to be getting a good bit of stage time, because a lot of people do enjoy the Power series, which is of course an original content, kind of Netflix original style PlayStation series that is available for all PlayStation Plus members, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of more announcements about new shows that might be coming out over the course of the next year or so. But alongside of this, I feel like they're also going to mention PlayStation Vue, which is of course their live streaming TV service where you can pretty much watch live television on your PlayStation for a plan. You can choose several different kinds of options, but starting at $30 a month, you can watch live TV on your PlayStation, and it did launch nationwide, I believe, earlier this year, so I definitely think that is going to get a mention at this year's conference. So what exactly can we expect on the games front? What is PlayStation going to be showing as far as what we can play over the course of the next year? Destiny's next expansion by the name of Rise of Iron is going to get a significant amount of stage time because, number one, at the time of making this video, it was announced literally 10 minutes ago. When you're watching this video, it was announced yesterday, and it looks to be pretty impressive. I will say that I traded in my copy of Destiny, I uninstalled it from my PlayStation 4, and I'm not really about that life anymore, so to speak. I'm not about the grind. But I do believe that the Rise of Iron is so impressive that new people are going to be coming into Destiny's universe just to check it out, and I do believe that it is going to kind of revitalize the community that might have gotten a little bit tired of Destiny over the course of the time since its release. I think it's going to be a great expansion. I feel that it's exactly what longtime Destiny fans have been wanting to see from Bungie, and I can't wait to see how they react whenever it does come out September, and whenever they do inevitably talk about it at PlayStation's E3 press conference. So now, following that, Horizon Zero Dawn, definitely going to get some stage time because of the delay, because they have to kind of address that and kind of at least quell people's worries that the game is not doing so well. They have to show off some gameplay, maybe announce some multiplayer stuff. They're going to have to talk about it. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, very excited for that one. Going to be interested to see how it actually turns out. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Yeah. Dead Don't Ride, which is Sony Ben's new game, or at least supposed new game, that's supposed to come out sometime over the course of the next year. Maybe some kind of big announcement would be made about that. It's something that we in the PlayStation community are all really excited to see, and so that's going to be very interesting. A new God of War is on the horizon because there was some Norse screenshots, some kind of Norse mythology instead of the standard Greek mythology that is being brought into the God of War franchise, and I don't know if they're going to use Kratos. I don't know if it's going to be some kind of protagonist, maybe some kind of alternate reality Kratos would be definitely very interesting, but that is definitely going to be at this year's E3, and to conclude all of that kind of speculation, Gran Turismo Sport is most definitely going to be there, at least to compete with Forza Horizon, which, like I said, I expect to be at Microsoft's press conference. So, now the last two games that I almost guarantee are going to be at E3's 2016 press conference. Number one, The Last Guardian, with an imminent release date of the second Tuesday in August. I'm putting my money on that one. Number two, some kind of announcement from Naughty Dog about what they're doing with some Uncharted 4 expansion packs, and perhaps, at least I hope, there is some kind of mention of what they're working on after they finish up the development of the Uncharted 4 multiplayer expansions, some kind of story expansion, something along those lines. It's already happening, guys, so just give us a little hint. So now let's talk about Nintendo. I don't have any games predictions because they have pretty much announced everything they're going to be showing. They're definitely going to be showing a lot of The Legend of Zelda. That is a given. And I do believe that they're going to be the talk of the show at E3 because less is more with Nintendo. At least that's kind of the reputation that I've picked up over the years from those guys. And I believe that The Legend of Zelda on Wii U is going to blow people away and really make people think, this is a great game. I can't wait to play this game, and it's running on a Wii U. Imagine what it's going to run like on a Nintendo NX that's coming out in March 2017. That's how I feel Nintendo's E3 is going to go. It's going to be kind of showing off on current generation hardware, what they're working on, and then getting people excited for the next piece of hardware that's going to be coming out in the next year or so. So there you guys have it. Those are my predictions for E3 2016. And again, you can follow me over on Twitch. I'll be live streaming a lot throughout the course of E3 2016. And of course, videos will be here, and I almost guarantee that there are going to be more than 3 next week because there's going to be so much news to talk about, so much that I personally am passionate about talking about. I absolutely love this time of year, and I hope that you are as excited as I am. But as for right now, if you are new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button, stay up to date on all of my uploads, and be sure to check out some of those other videos that I have uploaded, because I do upload new stuff like 3 or 4 days a week depending on the week, and I have to go get ready to go see the World of Warcraft movie that is releasing tonight at 9 p.m. at my local theater. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll talk to you soon. Peace, and get ready for E3 2016, which starts next week, baby. Yeah!